A few months ago, you told me psychology is life. Why is psychology life for you?
And for me, psychology is just like helps me to understand like myself or like in the past or certain patterns I had or have. Also like what kind of decisions are good for me or like actually it's just about having living a happy and free life and being the person you want to be without any constraints or any noise from the outside world, to just get in touch with like your true authentic self, like your inner self, your inner version, and bringing that to life and living a happy and free life and being yourself and doing what makes you happy.
How did you end up in counseling?
Like I've been depressed in my life and I would go outside and smile to people and be like smile and like act happy and people would think like I'm okay, but like when I get home it's more like the depression. So it's like there's so many people who have been through trauma who really suffer and now they're depressed or anxious or suicidal.
This will be the first 1 million video.
God, I hope not. I mean, I would like to be famous. It seems horrible.
You told me a few months ago that. Huh?
God.
You told me.
God.
But the gnocchi's gonna come out.
Yeah, it will come out. I feel like more here than there.
I was asking a few months ago, you told me psychology is life. I want to know, why is psychology life for you?
Well, for me, it's like psychology is such a broad term, and for me, it's like everything. Like for me, it's like as soon as you think something, that can be psychology, or as soon as you feel something, especially also feeling psychology. So as long as you breathe, there's psychology in some kind of way.
How can you describe it? Because I don't understand what you mean by breathe psychology or feel psychology.
Like psychology is so broad. Like also if you study it, it's like you have like social psychology, developmental psychology, clinical psychology, organizational psychology. Like you can study psychology and then work in human resources or like in companies. Like it's not like every person who studies psychology, they become like a counselor. Also like social psychology or every aspect you can study of it, it's like always like about human beings in like what goes on inside of them, like why they behave in a certain way, like the actions they take, why they feel like this or how they feel like, what they think like or how their thoughts can develop, how they feel like can affect how they feel like, and then can affect their actions. So for me it's like every day you live, you breathe, you do certain things in your life, and that to me that's all psychology. Like if you decide to move to a certain city or study something or get married or not get married or have children, like all these decisions, they are affected by something, right? For example, your childhood, your upbringing, all of that. And so to me, every aspect of life is psychology, or even like world politics, like all the, for example, wars or elections, all of that is also like, it's all people, right? And so, for me, it's like, if you look around or like if you look at the world, there's psychology everywhere.
Okay. How has psychology affected you in a positive way?
But to me, like in psychology, what I'm like mostly interested in is more like the mental health part. So more like clinical psychology, right? Like how, like organizational or social psychology, like not that much, but more like regarding mental health. So and like regarding like therapy, counseling, all of this. And for me, psychology is just like helps me to understand like myself or like in the past or certain patterns I had or have, or yeah, like also like what kind of decisions are good for me, or like, yeah, actually it's just about having a like living a happy and free life and being the person you want to be without any constraints or any noise from the outside world, you know, to just like, yeah, like get in touch with like your true authentic self, like your inner self, your inner version, and bringing that to life and living a happy and free life and being yourself and doing what makes you happy.
But you don't think that you can do this by yourself or with family or with friends? Like, why isn't it like a bit weird telling all your secrets, all your personal, I don't know, like your whatever you find very personal to you that you won't share it to anyone in the world, that you go and tell the psychologist? And yes, they have contract; they should not say to anyone. Yes, I understand that, but still, isn't it weird going in telling this random person everything?
Well, I started seeing a counselor like 3 years ago. So I've been with her for 3 years. And I think, like, for me, and I think also for others, well, like, it's really important to be with someone that you feel comfortable with. Like, I feel like, yeah, that's very important.
So you've been with other counselors before,
No,
just to
like with this, actually, I was
Okay.
very, because I think it's not that easy to find a good one,
A good.
like a good counselor, because usually there are many people who need counseling, but not so many counselors. Plus, it's also very expensive. Plus, yeah, it's like also health insurance doesn't really cover it depending on the country, but like it's very, like it's easier to go like see a GP than a counselor. Yeah, but like I was very lucky, and like in my case, I needed and I wanted counseling.
And it's helped you.
That, yeah, definitely. Like for me, it's like a superpower. It's just like somehow in this world, like now it's changing a bit, also depending on where you are. But it's like, oh, it has been stigmatized so much, right? But it's like for me, it's like often the society tries to stigmatize things that are actually good for people. Because to me, it's like, yeah, like a superpower. Like why, like now I don't really care if people think I'm like, because I've heard a lot of stuff like, oh, you're like, she must be like crazy or like ill or something, just because I have my therapist and I like doing it. But now I don't really care about that stuff anymore. But like I've heard a lot of stuff, right? But to me, yeah, it's like a superpower. And like what you said, I think like every person, like it's not like I say everyone should see a counselor, even though I feel like if everyone did, I feel like the world would be a better place. I think.
Okay.
I think so. Of course, also if you're with someone you feel comfortable with. I guess that I also think there can be bad counselors, therapists, like there can be bad people working in a hotel, a supermarket, or managers, you know, like they are only just people themselves. But and also it depends. Like maybe you have been through stuff that you can't tell your family, you can't tell your friends, you can't tell anyone. Maybe even yourself, you can't be with it because it was, for example, too traumatic, too horrible. And then you need someone who has also certain tools to help you. Because to me, it's also not just like, and also there's so many different forms of therapies, right? It's not like this, we just talk and that's it. Like, and for me, they're like doctors, because also like if you have like a broken arm, you don't go to your friend to fix it or to your family. Like you go to the hospital, like if you can. And to me, that's like the same with like mental health professionals, because they learned it, right? They learned something in order to do that profession.
So you think it should be included in the health insurance?
Definitely. Like for me, it's also like because for me, like mental and physical health is connected. Like because also like it's connected, like the mind, the body, like the soul, your energy, like that's all one, right? So like I find it a bit like to me it shouldn't be separated like this. Like and also like if you go see GP, for example, because you have back pain or stuff like this, often it can also be the root can be like like mental health things, you know. So if everything was more linked and connected, I think people would be more healthy in general, and then being more healthy, also more happy. And yeah, if people are more happy, they don't do a lot of shit that we see, like what's going on in the world, right? Like And yeah, I think the world would be better.
What made you go to a counselor?
Um,
Like, no, not how did you end up in counseling? Like, there should always be a start, because I feel a lot of people want to go, but then, as you said, they might think that you're ill, you're crazy, and then you're like, should I go? Because it's also expensive, and you don't know if it is worth the money in the beginning as well. So how did you like push yourself to go in the beginning? Now you love it, that's really nice, but what pushed you to go is what I'm asking. Like, I'm not asking the reason. No, that's with you. Like, what motivated you to go is what I'm asking.
okay. If I think of it, you can edit it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Take your time.
Okay. And if I say something now that maybe I don't want to be, I can also tell you later, right?
I would like if you tell me tomorrow. Yeah.
If I tell you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because, some of the questions, it's like, for you it's not connected, but like, of course it is, right? Like,
Yeah,
what
I don't.
motivated me is like,
Yeah, I know.
to my
No, no, I know.
personal life,
That's why.
right?
That's why I said don't tell me your personal life. Like, so what I tried.
Like more general.
General thing.
abstract
It's
thing.
basically, for example, somebody's watching this. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's you share, you don't
Yeah,
share. That's
true.
up to you.
Okay,
But
I
it's
can
like,
say it in
how
if
did you? Like, for example, you can say like, I had some trouble in the past, whatever, and it was too much, and whatever. I don't know what the reason is.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't have to say what. No,
No,
I don't
like
want that.
this, no. But
Yeah.
I just tried to think how to say that.
Whatever you want. You can say it in German also if you want to put subtitles below.
No, like I feel more comfortable in English because also therapy is in Like I do it in English.
Where
right?
is she from?
UK.
She's in UK.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you
So
seen
it's in
her?
English. No, we never met in person.
Okay. But she has an office and a desk in.
No, she works from home.
Oh. I would like to do that.
I mean, it's not
No, I'm
like
joking.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couch what people like, or what you see in movies every time. I'm
That's
like,
what I thought.
no.
It's not like a couch.
Actually, maybe can we put that in the podcast? Are you like maybe like how it looks like?
Yeah, I'm gonna put everything in the
Okay.
podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just no edit, clean, raw version.
Oh God.
Director's cut.
No, for me it's like I'm at home at my desk. I
Yeah.
have my laptop
Yeah.
because for me it's on Zoom, right? Because I'm in many different countries and she's in the UK, so it's via Zoom. And she's at home. She works from home. Like it's like she has been avoided as like one of the most empathetic or best like online therapists in the UK. I think I don't remember the year. Like that's not super accurate, but like I don't remember the year. But yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, she's really.
She's nice. Yeah, she's
I'm
happy.
happy.
I can see it in your face.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm really happy.
You're very
I
grateful
found
for her.
Yeah. And yeah, like she works from home, and I don't know how many laptops she has at home, but like at least one, or I think more. And I think she does all of her sessions online. Like even people who are like live in the UK or close to where she lives, it's everything online.
So she's like on this table with the camera on.
And then she takes some notes.
Yeah.
I take some notes, and then we're talking like this, just like not in person. And like there's no like, because also every time I watch movies or TV shows, and even that's what I meant by stigmatized, or like it's a crazy image. There's always a couch. Then it's always like also like when people, I don't know, there so many things where I'm like, that's not real life. That's not reality. Like maybe some people or some psychiatrists, like there's also a huge difference between psychologist, counselor, and psychiatrist, right?
What's the difference?
Like psychiatrists are those that studied medicine, and then later when you have to specialize, they specialize in psychiatry. Like others, they do oncology or cardiology or whatever, and they do psychiatry, and they are allowed to give you medication. So, for example, antidepressants or whatever, they can give it to you. Like my counselor, she can't. Like the therapist counselors that are not psychiatrists, they cannot do that, right? So, yeah, that's a huge difference. Like I've never been with a psychiatrist, I can't say anything about that. But like, yeah.
Okay.
Tell
me about you can take your time, but tell me about what made you get into, like, how did you initiate yourself or push yourself to go into therapy?
For me, yeah, as I said, I started 3 years ago in April 2021. Yeah. And for me, it was more like, it was also process. I think, yeah, it's actually crazy because if you had asked me like in December 2020, like a few months before, I would have been like, no, I don't need to see a counselor and I don't want to see a counselor. And why should I? And, like very like, no. Probably also like a bit like scared of it, or also like not really knowing what it is or how they can help me or what's the point of it. And for me it was more like, yeah, that I had been in my life through like a lot of traumatic things. Like I'm needed, like also the therapy I'm doing is trauma therapy. Like that's a specific kind of counseling or therapy. Like it's, yeah, also like I think what I know most about is like trauma and everything connected to it. And yeah, for me it had just been like, there had been a lot of traumatic things happening in my life, or like since birth. And then when I was like in my mid-20s, I saw and felt all of the effects on it on me, like because like trauma, it does a lot to you. So also like other people who've been through traumatic events, like I don't know whether it's like a loss of like a person you love, like whether it's grief, or whether it's like, I don't know, for example, people who've gone to war, or people who grew up in like war zones, or like abuse, or like sexual harassment, all of that things, like just traumatic events. And then yeah, after a while you feel like the effects of it, like you can't sleep, or you have like flashbacks of the trauma, or like so there's so many triggers everywhere, and then when a trigger happens, it's like it puts you right back into that traumatic situation, like all of this. And then also you feel like you can feel very lost, like you don't know what you want to do with your life, where you want to go. Maybe you also don't have like good people around you, like people you would like to have, like all of this, everything is like connected. And so for me, yeah, like at one point it was like I need some professional help. And also like first it was like a process, like also like I found like on Instagram a page that would talk about the trauma that I've been through, like, and out of a sudden there was like a community and people who also went through the same thing. And I remember it was a guy, actually, he's a counselor in India. Oh. Yes, and he was like, yeah, because I was like really traumatized, and then I read all of this and was like, oh my God, it's like the people have been through the same stuff like I have, or like they have been there, they just like, out of a sudden, I felt like seen and understood, and it was like that before. And I was like, maybe it's enough if I just read all of his posts and look at his videos. Maybe that's enough to heal myself. And then every time he was like, no, what you need, it's like, of course you can do all of this, but you need therapy. Like there's
Trauma
no
therapy.
way around it.
You need trauma therapy.
You need to do that. And I was like, well, what does he know? I mean, I know better, But then reading that, like I remember that started in like December 2020, and I read that for like every day. In the afternoon, I went like 2 or 3 hours and just read and read and read and read. So for me, it's like I haven't studied psychology yet, hopefully soon in the future, but I've experienced so much myself, but also I've read so much, right? And then, yeah, like I think around January, February 2021, I was like, okay, I will do it. But then it took me like 2 months around that time to find someone, because it's not easy to find someone. And yeah, it was like a process. It's not like from one day to another, at least not for me. No.
Okay. The last 20, 25 minutes, whatever you spoke was really smooth and clean, okay, and to the point. And I've never seen you talking like this for the last 1 year. But like, it's like, it was like no cuts. Like outside we were just talking, I don't know how I'm going to talk. Others, like Amanda talks very good. Yeah. Very true. Like that podcast was also, this was also like straight, like to the point. And it was like, I was like, okay, what do I say now? But not in a bad way, like in a very good way, like in a very good way. Like I was more than listening, I was more shocked. I was like, no, like in a good way, I was shocked. I was like, oh, wow. Because usually you you think a lot before you talk,
Yeah.
and you like your confidence level is also a bit low, no?
Yeah,
At times,
yeah.
most times,
Yeah.
it's low. But then now it was super. Like I can feel it. I'm very sure whoever is watching this also will also like feel the same. But I felt like wow. Like I was like, oh, where's this video? I haven't seen her. I've never seen her.
Oh, thank you. That's nice to hear.
No, but I'm very serious.
No, like, but for me, it's like.
Is it because of psychology? Because it's something that you love so much and you know so much about it, or is it like I'm not aware of it, so it is easy for you to explain?
No, definitely not that. No, I think.
Because there was an energy just like that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Or is it the gnocchis?
I don't think so.
I think I'll tell you guys what happened. We had gnocchi for dinner after spikeball. After like 4 hours of spikeball, we smashed 2 kgs of gnocchis.
I think 1
kg. Sorry, exaggeration. So 2 kgs of gnocchis. Gnocchi is like the potato. What do you say? Like potato with flour mixed together. I was just saying because I have Indian audience, Abu Dhabi audience. So, yes. And I didn't know what gnocchi was when I was in Abu Dhabi. That's why. So,
I mean, I don't know how they're made exactly.
I know how they're made.
Oh.
I mean, I'm a chef, you know, so chef. Yeah. So, yeah, we put vegetables, we put tomato sauce, we put cheese. Don't send this to an Italian, then they will kill us.
No. Don't watch that.
Yeah, don't watch that. With some pasta water, mixed it all together. It was very thick and chunky and
plus like, the cream cheese.
Plus the cream cheese. Yeah. Salt, oregano, pepper, mixed it with some Parmigiano cheese on top.
Actually, for me, the taste is so good. I could eat more now. Just the taste, but like my stomach is.
It's full. Yeah, maybe don't eat it in the night because it's like very full. But it's good.
Or not before a podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe you can sleep afterwards. It's okay, no?
Yeah, well, you're gonna cycle up like 1 kilometer up. No cycle, so I just. No.
I will suffer.
Okay. Sorry, say. So I was asking, was it the gnocchis? No. Maybe little influence.
No, but for me, it doesn't really shock me actually. Like I know I have that inside of me.
What is that?
Like that I can. Well, that I can. It sounds a bit strange, but that I am a confident person, that I can talk about certain things. You know, that I'm not like this anxious, worried, doubtful, insecure person. Like I know, like not this, but what I've said before, like I have that inside of me, right? But like for example, what I said, like that's also why it really frustrates and annoys me because like, for example, this trauma, it's not like it's in the past, it happened and now that's it. Like it has so many effects. Like for example, I have anxiety and I know it's from the trauma. Like you can't experience or live or survive all of this without having any. It does something to your mind, your body, like mentally, physically, right? And so, like, for example, usually I'm way more anxious or nervous before something. It was the same when I had like presentations at school, like at university. I would be so nervous and anxious before. And then once I would start the presentation, would be like, it's nothing, it's okay. And then students would come to me, I'm surprised you were talking like this. It would make me really mad. I'm like, but how do you see myself? And then I would be like, but how do I see myself? And then back then I had no idea about trauma. Like I didn't know what that word meant. But now in the past 3 years, I'm like, oh wow, like, you know, it has so many effects and I try to leave that behind me, but I think it takes time. And it's not that easy, you know? Yeah. But
I wasn't saying it was easy.
Yeah.
I was saying I was just surprised that like the way you were talking now and the way say we were talking 2 hours ago at the beach. I mean, beach, we didn't talk so much like this obviously, but it was a bit different. Like there was a lot of thinking, understanding, processing, which is not, because I also do the same. I also think, understand, and then I talk. I know why you're laughing. I know why you're laughing. Sometimes I don't think, I don't understand, and I only talk. I know I only talk at times, but there are a lot of situations where I also think, understand, and talk. That's why I'm not a very direct person. I'm a bit like indirect. Yeah. But I say, like, if the message is to be sent, I won't say it like this. I'll say it like this.
Yeah.
Like it will be delivered in the best way possible. But but I don't know. I don't know how to frame the sentence and ask you in a very nice
Yeah.
meaning. But I'm asking you the most indirect meaning right now. It was like it was like a different medium here and different medium there. But if you ask me which medium I prefer, both mediums are nice. But this medium is what surprised me. That medium is the medium who I know. You know, who I know, who we are like hang out with, who we like. This medium is full of like confidence. She knows what she's saying. It's not like you know, you don't know what you're saying. Like, you know, I mean, you always know what you're saying, but it's not like you're thinking, should I say this? Should I say that? No, you're just like, pum, which is really nice, which is really good. You know, why don't you use this or do this in reality as well?
But I mean, this conversation is also reality, right? Like part of reality. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm trying. Like, for example, all the trauma therapy I've been doing is not just like because I have nothing else to do. I don't know what to spend my money on, or I'm bored. But it's like because I want to leave all of that behind
and be like
me.
this.
Huh?
And be like this.
Yes, or like, yeah, being like my true self. Because also what trauma does to you is like your true authentic self becomes like buried and like hidden away behind all of these layers of trauma, right? And then you have so many survival and coping mechanisms and so many protector parts that help you to survive. Because, yeah, like trauma is like so traumatic. It's such a huge danger. And then it's just surviving. And yeah, then it's really not that easy to just be one day like, oh, you know what? No. And also it's in your, but like, you know, you're nervous. Like also like when a trigger happens, like that's also something that annoys me so much. Like now in like social media, but also way people talk, like I hate it. I hate it.
Hate what?
When people use words like, oh, that's traumatizing or triggering for things that are not traumatizing and triggering. Like if, like, it's just when I'm in the metro, and for me that's nearly like a trigger, you know, because it reminds me of like my trauma. You know what I mean?
I know
so when
what
I'm in
saying.
the metro or just like outside, like there's so much, and sometimes it's so exhausting, you know. And I think with time, it's more like I care less, but like the way society is like structured, it's like not really helpful. No.
I feel the word depressed has been very I feel it's used in every common sentence right now. It's not like, oh, I feel tired, I feel sad. No, I'm depressed. And it's things like I think I was hearing someone very recently, the one who we shall not name, very recently, and they were just saying like, man, I'm so depressed, like I can't work for like 8 hours in a row, even though yes, I do have a break, but it's too much. It's just too much work for me. I just cannot cope up with it. And even my colleagues are also having the same thing. I'm so depressed. Like, I understand if it's only you, if the manager is targeting you, it will be very hard. But you're working there for something, like you're going there to earn money because you like the job. You know, it's something very basic that you have to do, and you're complaining, this is not there, that is not there. You don't get enough breaks. He's getting that much breaks, she's getting that much breaks. I'm depressed because she's having a better time than me. You know, using words like this, like the word depressed has become very common right now, and it's being used for everything. Like every small thing, like this is your day-to-day life. You know, you don't use this for your day-to-day life. You have to wake up in the morning. Like, I'm depressed to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning because I have to be in my office at 9 o'clock. That's a sentence. But it's like you have to wake up in the morning. It is not being depressed. You have to wake up in the morning, you know, just to get ready. So I understand when you went by like, oh, I'm traumatized. But then it's big. But when they say what they're traumatized, it's something like, listen, this is not... this is not wrong. This is your life. You know, this is part of your life. And somebody like you said who know what trauma is, you know, and when you read it or you listen to it and you see that, you're like, bro, well, come to my world.
And it's also like people who have been through real trauma or who have been like triggered by like a real trigger, it's like it loses meaning if we overuse these words so much. Then it's like and and also I feel like from my experience, people who have been depressed or who are currently depressed, they don't say it to people. That's so true. It's not like I've been depressed in my life and I would go outside and smile to people and be like, smile and like act happy, and people would think like I'm okay, but like when I get home, it's more like the depression. So it's like I feel you. And that's really like I feel like there should be some there should be more like knowledge out there. Like there should be more people who really know something talking about it, and it should be like people should become more informed. And because there's so many people, like all of this trauma, it's also so many people suffering in silence, like because you don't see trauma, also, for example, with me, people, it's also something like people, they look at me and they see like, oh, she's German, she has blonde hair, she has blue eyes, or she's white, so she must have had like a very easy, happy, nice life, I've heard that. And because like all of the stuff I've been through, like all of my trauma, you don't see that. You don't see it. It's like invisible. It's on the inside, right? Well, of course, sometimes you also have physical. If you can also see it physically, that happens. But like it's invisible, and I feel like there's so many people who have been through trauma who really suffer, and now they're depressed or anxious or suicidal, which is like tied to it, of course, or like they are so lost in their lives, or like they're in abusive relationships or in toxic environments, so many things. But I feel like there's no voice for them. Like there are certain people, like I've heard that, like for example, also my counselor, she's doing a lot of like media work, and every time I hear people spreading like the word or trying to spread some knowledge, I feel that's so nice. But like I would like this voice to be like louder and stronger, I feel like there can be done like a lot of work regarding this, and I hope like the next year, and I hope I will be part of that at one point, to help people like who've been going through that. And I wish you all the best. And I hope you do something around the scale of mental health awareness. And guys, she's going to Vienna forever, leaving all of us alone over here. All the best for Vienna. We'll party after 2 weeks. No? Yes, we will. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna, and we have to go now because the metro leaves in 10 minutes. Oh, it's already. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be soon. Okay, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you, Senthil. Bye. Bye.